Hello, I'm here. Let me know if you're here. Hope everybody was able to see my post in the Discord and on my Twitter, but we are here. We got through an entire first day of trial, and boy, was it riveting. Let me know in chat if you're here. Hey, I see Blix already. And Matt, hi Matt. Hi Peace, good to see you. There we go, I see it. Truth Seeker is here. Am I coming in? My sound okay? Hi, wanna be fit. Should I just call you Fitty? Oh, let it some more come in, and then we'll get to talking. Or was it Saturday? We were discussing. Somebody had asked if Floyd and Derek Chauvin worked together, and I did find out a little bit more information on that. Hey, Whiskey, Rick is here. Whiskey Musings. I did find out, looked up an article on that. I'm still not convinced that they knew each other well enough to even consider it a thing, but I'll show you some of what I found. Hey, good to see everybody. So, one of the things I wanted to start with was that, hey, Kirsten's here too. Hi, Kirsten. Good to see you. So, wanna be fitty says, it was difficult watching the video. I turned away and hit the mute button. I had difficulty with that. I will admit I did. I want to give it a little bit more time, but the video was what we saw today was more than I've seen yet of the video. I've still not seen the full video. And when the day ended, just so you know, they will restart tomorrow back where they left off. The judge did make that clear that there were technical difficulties. So with the CCTV or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, because of that, they had to end the day early and they sent the jurors home. So they said that they would look back and find out where they stopped, so nothing will be missed. But yeah, the video. Thank you, Kirsten. I saw you say I sound good. I may sound a little gravelly in my throat because I'm tired. So, anywho, one of the things that I looked at was on CBS News. There, I'm pretty sure it's okay if I share it. We shall see. I want to try and see if I can do this. It's an article. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see here. Oh. No, I don't know how to do that. Hold on. Let's see. What if I do that one? I wanted to share the screen. Let's see. Oh, maybe I have to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll put that up there. Hold on one second. Here we go. Okay, took me a minute. Sorry. Oh, helps to have more than one screen. So there we go. This is the article that I found about them working at the same place. This is George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, former police officer, charged in killing of Floyd, worked security at the same local club for much of the year before their fatal encounter on a Minneapolis street last week. Scroll down a bit, talks about let's see here. The owner of Maya Santa Maria said she had been paying Chauvin when he was off duty to sit in his squad car outside the El Nuevo Rodeo for 17 years. So he actually sat in did his guard duty from his car outside of the club. And then later on down here, it says that George Floyd worked inside. Said Floyd was well known, liked by patrons, was beloved to the Latin community because he worked at another Latin club too. But it says that he worked down in or inside. So I don't know how often, if at all, that Chauvin and Floyd came in contact with each other during the last part, right before the incident happened. So I just wanted to put this out there that they did, in fact, work in the same club. And the name of that club was the Nuevo Rodeo. El Nuevo Rodeo. Sorry, Rodeo. So as she said, I cannot imagine having your business become the central to a case like this. I mean, I don't know, that's not the kind of publicity I really want. But anyway, so that let's see here. So here's one part. We would wrap up at the end of the night and do a review. She said they discussed the time Chauvin was called into the club to remove patron or dealt with someone outside the club. She said employees never complained about Chauvin, but sometimes patrons would complain about how he handled them. Santa Maria said Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has contacted her to discuss Floyd's and Chauvin's employment. She also reached out to Floyd's family. Says that Attorney Benjamin Crump said Sunday, or whenever that was, I should have looked to see what the date was. Says that he believes that Chauvin and Floyd's El Nuevo Rodeo connection means Chauvin should face tougher charges than the third-degree murder and manslaughter counts that led to his arrest in May 29th. So I'm trying to find a certain point in this. Please excuse me. I hope I'm not making you dizzy, but I wanted to see. I may have accidentally skipped it. Like I said, my brain is always going everywhere at once. There we go. Santa Maria said she had been paying Chauvin, I think we read this already, when he was off duty to sit in the squad car outside El Nuevo Rodeo for 17 years. She said Floyd worked as a security guard inside the club frequently in the last year. In particular, they both worked on Tuesday nights when the club had a popular weekly dance competition. So just because they worked on the same nights doesn't mean that they really came in contact with each other anyway. Also, if he was the one sitting, if he was sitting in his car, that kind of thing. Santa Maria reflected Friday evening on how her business suddenly became the central. Okay, we read that already. All right, so I hope that answered some of the questions that somebody had asked, and I'm sure we all knew it already, but we know that they did work together. It will be interesting to see how that plays out in the trial, if it comes in, and what each side has to say about it, just how much there was. Okay, so let me go back here and look at the questions. So we had, I'll start back over now, and then we can sort of talk about what like what happened and stuff. So we had the openings this morning and 3 witnesses. And the chat was pretty rough on the witnesses, I will say. I felt bad for the second girl. I try really hard to keep the chat, not being so mean, but I sometimes fail. Okay, so Fit asks, let me go back to the big screen to get off of this thingy. There we go. So Fit asks, was the first witness the dispatcher or 911 operator? She was 911 dispatcher. And number 1, she was. So this is. So first we had the openings delivered by Jerry Blackwell and for prosecution, and Eric Nelson for defense. I thought both did pretty good. I don't really think defense necessarily has to be super long with their openings or anything like that, since they don't have the burden. But I thought that they were both pretty good. What were you guys' thoughts on, especially for prosecution? Let's see. So, Whiskey Musings says, be sure to head over to Whiskey Musings YouTube channel. He's a buddy of my husband's and me, however you say that. So, okay, I meant the girl with the blue hair highlights as my first witness. Was blue hair? Oh, goodness, I have to remember what people look like. Oh, let me take a look, because I have their pictures on the front of the YouTube thingy. Let me see. I'll tell you which one was which. The dispatcher. Let's see. So I'm thinking blue hair must have been the second girl. Let me. Is her hair blue? Oh, I'm blind. I can't see. So the second girl was the one who seemed very either off or not really wanting to be there. Everybody said they felt she was on something, but I don't want to judge her in that because I don't know. But I wanted to say that I did notice when she was testifying that her responses to prosecution were okay. She was a little bit, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember. It was long ago, but her demeanor changed when she got to cross examination, which happens quite frequently with witnesses. Whoever calls them, if it's prosecution's witness, they will have a better demeanor with the lawyer the attorney who brought them or who called them, and they're on their witness list as opposed to the other. I don't know if anybody ever really notices that kind of thing with witnesses. Yes, second witness. Yes. Yeah. I had to go look. I have to look for my own brain because I can't remember. I'm horrible about noticing things like hair, unless it's like really, really out there. But anyway, okay, so this is good. The first one was pretty convincing. Oh, the first witness was the dispatcher. And her name was Gina Lee Scurry. We have notes that come to us, and they're really kind of neat. They give us all kinds of stuff, so I'm kind of trying to weed through them a little bit. So Scurry was working on May 25th. Boy, this thing is in detail. It's hard to skim through it. I felt. Let's see here. These notes are very, very involved. Maybe I won't sit here and try and read these. So now they're looking at the exhibits. A video of Floyd being brought to the squad, which is parked right in front of the Cup Foods. Floyd in handcuffs brought over. That was the video shows initial encounter from different angle. Jurors were watching intently. Officers tried to put Floyd in the back seat. So she said when she was looking at all this stuff happening, she says, my instincts were telling me something wasn't right. It was an extended period of time. I became concerned that something might be wrong. It was a gut instinct that in the incident, something is not going right. I called the sergeant within minutes of the starting. She had a gut instinct something was wrong. And then remember, there's an exhibit 12 was the call of Scurry to the sergeant where she says, you can call me a snitch if you want me to. All of them sat on this man. So she saw all this. And what were your guys' feelings about the things she was saying about that? About what she said, all of them were sitting on this man. I felt, for me, I had no idea that there was that much time prior to all of the spectators showing up in the video by the time they got him around to the other side of the squad car. I didn't realize that there was so much time that had passed and before a crowd started to come. It was at least 7 minutes, something like that. There was quite a bit of time before the crowd showed up. Dar's Cabins. You can watch the openings. They are archived, marked as such in the playlist on the Law and Crime channel. Rachel says she didn't realize that either. Was it about the how much time had passed between the crowd showing up and the them having him on that side where they were on top of him? That was hey Rachel, sorry. Yeah, that kind of threw me a little bit. I was thinking, because like I said, we see in the news, we see bits and pieces, and unless you go and watch the whole thing from the beginning, you miss out on a whole lot of stuff. And I didn't realize that there was that much time that had passed. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Beth says, hearing this, it seems that some of it was the EMTs and fire taking a bit to arrive and step in as well. I want to know how long it was. She called her. So if she's the 911 dispatcher, I was confused on what was she monitoring? Was she, oh my goodness, was she monitoring what the view we were looking at the time? Or what was she seeing? If she's the 911 dispatcher, is she have camera view from from the place across the street. Is that what it is? The camera that was across the street that we were watching in that video? Is that how she was seeing it too? From live video, maybe? That was something that made me wonder what exactly was going on. Also, there was the second girl, the second witness. She was filming with her phone from up top of whatever was across the street. Boy, you can tell I had a very hard time paying attention today, because it was difficult trying to run the room and trying to keep up with the stuff that was going on in the in the trial itself. Let's see. I don't have, that's all I have. It's not very much information. Okay, let me see. Oh. I wanted to see if I had more info on that. I don't. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is really, I got to stop. I'm distracted. Okay. So let's see what some questions we got going on. It says, I was shook how many times the store clerk went to George Floyd's car and him being passed out on the car, in the car before police arrived. Yeah. In my opinion, as far as his issues and all that with his whatever he had going on with him, I try to keep that in mind. But for me, that's not, Floyd's not on trial. So there are a lot of stuff is going to come up, but I don't look at it in the sense of this should have happened to him, or you know what I mean? If you watch the chat, you'll see a lot of people in there will say things like he was a criminal, he deserved it, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that is correct at all. If this ends up being the way the prosecution says it is, then and also I take into consideration the fact that Chauvin at one point was going to take the third. Remember, he was going to take the plea on the third, and he was talked out of doing that, or Barr said no. So that right there is something that is something that I look at in this, is if he was willing to take the third, or take that third, the plea on the third, that's stuck in my head, knowing that, which is sometimes makes me want to hop off the fence. But so female off duty, did she not help out? Female off duty. You mean one of the witnesses on the side? Fit? Let's see. Beth says, this case is tragic all around. George Floyd, but also the police. Who wants to go to a call, have a death, and be in jail and on trial? I don't think anyone plans to kill anyone. I don't know. I don't feel that, in my opinion, I don't feel he had planned to do it. I think that I don't know why, when he was asked, or when his other police officers who are with him asked him or said to him, shouldn't we turn him on his side, and he refused. That I have an issue with, and that will probably be something that will come out. I think the fact that procedure in the hold was not done properly. I don't know if anybody got a chance to go over to that Brian Ross Investigates and watch that video on the hold. It is very good. Whiskey Musing says, agreed, all that is no different than hanging DC. It shouldn't be long until after all evidence is presented and examined objectively. So which one, who was told to step back, Peace? Lorna? Okay, Jim Kelman says, if you follow the timestamp of the state videos, you will see it was edited and slowed down. Timeline is not accurate. I don't know if did they say that it was edited? Did they say anything about that? Or is that opinion? I've heard it said in the chat. Everything that goes on in the chat, I take with a grain of salt, because everyone in chat, for the most part, and when I say everyone, I mean the majority of the chatters who come in are actually already on a side. So what they bring in, I want to see it come through be talked about in the trial, as opposed to coming in. You look at that, and then you compare what you hear outside to what is being said in the trial. And that's what I'm trying to do in this. It's difficult, though. I'm finding today was a difficult day for me, mentally wise, as far as retaining information, as you can tell, because being able to watch the chat. Now I have my moderator, who and my actual two, Bones and LL, helping me out, but it's still, the room is moving. We have 5,000 subscribers or viewers. The room hops, and I get distracted. In fact, sometimes I get so distracted that my producers are trying to DM me behind the scenes, and I'm not paying attention. That's why Kathy will have to come in and say something, or if you see a name drop down from the chat from Law and Crime, that's me being told, pay attention, you're being talked to. Oops. So, anywho, sorry. Let's see. Didn't defense mention this before breaking for the day, that they did not have a copy of the edited version? Or maybe I heard wrong. I don't know. Let me see. Let's see. Donald Williams. Was that with, I think that was with the third witness, Donald Wynn Williams. Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Somebody asked during the trial when it was going on how old the second witness was. Let me take a look. Second witness, where are you? I'm trying to see if they gave. Yeah. Oh, okay. She was 23. There you go. So somebody asked earlier in the chat, which they probably, if I'll remember to say that tomorrow, but the second witness was 23. The first witness, that everybody was debating on how old the first witness was. The first one was, where'd you go? just saw it. She was. Don't make me do this. Ugh. Darn it. I saw it. No, I don't have a clue. Where'd it go? I can't find it. I'll have to look tomorrow. Yeah. I'm not seeing it. It's interesting that it doesn't look like they even asked her what her age was. Oh, well. I tried. Sorry. Distracted. Oh. Oh, just as they were going to lunch, Blick said that he thinks that was said about. Oh my goodness! Yeah, I think they said that just as they were going to lunch about the edited video. Okay. Lunch was. Ah. So Dars says, this is the first time I saw the whole video. I was pretty shocked when I watched it. Did they tell me if you think, or was that the entire video, or did they play portions of that video still? And we still have not seen the whole thing from beginning to end. Did they play? The video was an hour long, wasn't it? .280 Zone says the second witness was worthless. The second witness was, you could tell she didn't want to be there. I mean, who does? But she did not want to be there. She got some big time grief in the chat. Alicia Marie Euler was the second witness. Yeah, see, they asked her how old she was, but they did not ask the first one. Maybe it's because, I don't know why. Maybe it's because she's a dispatcher, but they asked Alicia how old she was. She was 23. Says... So Alicia was working at the place across the street. She's what do you see the Speedway you used to work at? Yep. I love how she answered everything with yep. Oy vey. Says, what's the name of the store? Cup Foods. Just a place across the street where you worked. Yep. If you cross 38th, she said, do you recognize that building? She goes, I never really paid attention to it. Do you recall whether you were working May 25th? What were you doing? She says, ringing up customers. Can you draw where the cash register would be? And then she was doodling on the on the screen. She says, then, so it says, I'd like to draw your attention to 8 o'clock. Did something draw your attention? She says, always police in that area. Where did you first notice the police? She said, I would say on the corner diagonal across the street. For the record, that's across from Cup Foods. Then she's asked, can you describe what you saw? Him in handcuffs. Where was he? Over across the street. I believe. What did you see happen afterwards? I don't remember. What's the first thing you do remember? Oh God, are you nervous? Yes. Oi. So yes, I think I don't really think I think she was just extremely nervous, and it was coming across in her manner, and people were picking up on that and saying she was blitzed or stoned or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought she was very didn't want to be there. So she looked at the surveillance. Oh my goodness. Her whole demeanor, her whole attitude was just very yep, nope, to the point where he said more stuff than she did in her explanations. And well, anyway, I'm on a rabbit trail looking at stuff that's really boring. So, well, never mind. So, anywho, let's see. Any questions or anything so I can get my mind back over here? Let's see. I want to see what some conversations going on here. Okay, I have to say this chat is such a pleasure to be. Oh, here, I'll put that there. It's a pleasure to be in. I can't watch the chat in this case on Illinois. It stresses me out how people are very racist. Yes, we're trying to deal with those comments. I'm not sure what apparatus one of my moderators is using, but I'll have to ask and see if maybe it's. I see a lot of things that are being missed. So I'm trying to keep a better control or better look at the screen, which is why I get so bogged down and forget to look at and to see if people behind the scenes are trying to talk to me. But we've been trying very hard to nip those. But the issue is that we have a lot of Redditors who are coming in and causing issues in the chat. And the more that I slam them, or the more that I try to get to deal with them, the worse they get, because they have the ability to create multiple names and come back in and cause mayhem in the chat. And the more I start hiding them, the more the worse they get. And then they send out all the people that are with them and they come back. Let's see. Andy Clements says, I thought the security guard MMA guy was allowed to go off point too many times. He seemed to be giving his opinion on things without being qualified to do so. I heard that actually from some of the people in the background here at Law and Crime saying the same thing, that listening to him, I've kind of felt that he was actually giving more details than, or that should be from somebody who was qualified in the area. I mean, in that area, as far as the hold and all that stuff. Somebody said in chat that they're talking police hold versus MMA hold, which have two different outcomes. In, like what's the point of the hold for the police and then for an MMA fighter. So to have him as there should have been more of a thing where this is what I do, but they had him sound like he was an expert in that certain hold. And I did feel that was a little, it didn't sit well with me. I kept thinking, well, at first I thought he was, they brought him in as an expert, but he was actually the bystander he was not filming. He did not have his camera out. He was the one being heard on the video talking, however. So he was there. So, and then the shimmy. Here, I was actually looking for that part. So he says, you see his, so here's him talking about it as the video is playing. He says, do you recall how many people were on there? No. Did anyone threaten to harm? No. Some kid came. He tried to rile the crowd back up, but I told him, chill out. He went back inside crying. He was a younger kid. What's the purpose of doing a shimmy? Were there times you thought you recognized as a shimmy on Mr. Floyd? That is correct. We will lay its foundation for it tomorrow. I will only show a little bit of it. So did that video accurately depict? Yes. From my view, while we play it, I would ask you to explain the jury the things that you saw you would consider a shimmy. So you see, and then Williams says, you see his toe is pointing down and the small gesture in the back foot, it's a gesture to push it further down to cut off circulation. He just did it again. This time his foot came up off the ground, so all the pressure is on his neck. And then he says he did it again. He's doing it with his knee. When his shoulders move, he is pushing the pressure down to his neck, from the shoulders to the neck. As you're seeing this, you are seeing things on Mr. Floyd's face. And he says, correct. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Beth. That's sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you. Hugs and kisses. Mwah! Thank you. Here, I'll put this on. Look. Aw, I think... No, I can't say it's the first, but that's very sweet. I keep mixing up my channel and the other one. The other one, we got quite a few donations today for our great law and crime team. But anyway, so that was the part about the shimmy. And every time I kept hearing shimmy, I kept hearing Jason Derulo singing his song in my head. Oh, I'm like, okay, stop with the shimmy. Beth says, Jim Kelman, maybe he's the only shimmy expert in the country. I'm going to have to Google that now. Shimmy and MMA, if that's what he's talking about. He was inserting his personal opinions a lot, especially with law enforcement. Yes. I mean, if he's brought in, not impartial, defense didn't object to that expert. Yes. Actually, I didn't hear the defense object to anything or at all. He just through any of the witnesses so far. Did you? Peace and Love says the visual with his arms cracked me up was confusing. I wanted to read more of the second witness, but she was just too much all over the place. I liked what he had to say, but he was too informationally, what do you call it? Not informationally. I just made up a word. But I think he was too opinionated. Kind of like a lot of me in the chat, in my opinion. Let's see. When I think of shimmy, I think of dancing. That, yes. Or like I said, Jason Derulo, the song that we play every Fun Friday. Okay. Yeah, see, Zone said the same thing. No objections that I saw. Sometimes we have sides that will do that a lot. They will object every 2 seconds. And sometimes we have a case like this where they don't see the need to object. That can later on down the road come to bite you in the rear end, I think. Especially if your defendant is not thinking that you are, doing enough in his case. So we'll see if that picks up as it goes along as far as objections. Beth says, I thought the defense did during jury selection. They didn't want him, I think. Oh, that guy? I don't know. Nothing against public defenders. What is that? What he has? Let me take a look and see if let's check my notes and see what it says. I still cannot answer. Somebody asked why prosecution has so many counsel. I have no idea. They have a lot. In fact, I'm okay. I don't know if the defense. I don't know if the defense is a public. I almost said public offender. That's not what I meant. Public defender. Eric Nelson, defense for Chauvin. That's all it says on my end. Doesn't say if he's. I don't think he is, because Chauvin's defense is being paid for by a certain group, so he's not a public defender. I think we saw something recently that said where the funds are coming from to take care of Chauvin's case. It's a group. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a group that works with the law enforcement to handle their case for defense. If somebody knows that group, you can type it in chat, because I can't tell you, but I did hear recently and remember hearing it on the network that there was a group who was covering that for his defense. So let's see. Oh, Rachel says Prokopovich. Is that Prokopovich or whatever it was? Trial. The defense never objected. I think I spelled. I can't even say it. It was Prokopovich, wasn't it Prokopovich? I think was how it was. Prokopovitch or Tiz or something like that. Beth Seidel says the defense is very confident. I don't think I've seen that in a while. He was very calm and collected and to the point. Okay. I thought both sides were, delivery was good. Shimmy. Oh, Vespi says Eric J. Nelson is one of a dozen defense lawyers in Minneapolis who work on a rotation basis to represent police officers charged with misconduct. So they are paid by that group that I mentioned, that I can't remember the name of the group. Remember, by the way, I said this before, that I run 2 computers at the same time with 2 mice. Here's proof. That's what I. Oh, There's a lot that goes on back behind this place to run everything I run. All right. So Matt, let me go. Oh, Beth, my sticky Vinasage's fingers and touch screen do not mix. The other chat with slow mode frustrates me because I can't correct right away. Oh, if I don't have the chat on slow, we're up to 60 minutes on that. And it's because of the people who are typing, like just throwing stuff in there as fast as possible. And I have to watch out. I'm the same way. I tend to type a lot and jibber jabber, as you can tell, even on here I do. But if I don't have the slow mode on, you can't. It's very difficult to keep up with it as far as trying to read everything, because with this one we have to actually read all of the words, because the way that they're wording it, you can miss some of the racist stuff. So we have to deal with that. Matt Gilmore says he's not in the medical field, and that made me wonder why they had him on there. But then I realized that he was the one talking to the police and telling them what they were doing was wrong. Yes, he's the one you can hear the voice of very much so, I think, the most of that. If you go back and listen, I thought he was the one filming. He said he didn't have his camera out, so he was not filming. The person who was filming was somebody that he was standing next to as he was telling them that. And I'm sure that the reason he was responding the way he was is because he probably recognized what was going on from his MMA. I mean, it seems logical to me that he would see, oh, yes, I see what you're doing, and I recognize this, and I hear the sounds. I think I said that in chat. I bet he heard the sounds, the way he was sounding, his breathing, his talking, and how he got quiet at the end. Chauvin's defense is paid through the legal defense fund. There you go. Thank you. I knew somebody would look that up, and I apologize for not doing it myself. But there you go. Chauvin's defense is paid through the legal defense fund of the Minnesota Police Peace Officers Association. That's the group that I meant. See, that's a long name. There's no way I could ever remember that. Yes. So. Poor Beth is having poor Beth. You're okay, Beth. Yeah, sometimes I tend to go, if my nails are long, I'm hitting every key except the right key. So, anywho, let's see. So anyway, we stand tomorrow. We'll be back in the morning at 9:30 with the same with Donald Williams back on the stand to continue where they left off in the video. And everybody was thinking that we'd been sabotaged or whatever when everything started happening and the feed failed. It was an issue on their end. I don't know if it was weather related or what, but at the time that was happening, they were having 60-mile-an-hour winds, and there were boards on the front of where the media is, and all those boards were being ripped from, were being pulled off the glass. Kathy Russin tweeted out a picture of all of the boards on the ground after the wind. So they were dealing with a windstorm. I think everybody's been dealing with a windstorm. We had it here yesterday, but it wasn't too as bad as we thought it might be. We did get our generator out just in case, but I'm going to work on trying to get better at this. I think what I would love to be able to do is have somebody with me on these lives, like to log in here and be with me on camera, if anybody wants to help me with, like bouncing stuff off. I'm not that great when I'm by myself, especially with trying to come up with information quickly. I'm horrible at that. But Beth says, brace yourself. Oh, brace yourself. You might need some whiskey in your coffee tomorrow. Thanks for doing these lives. Sometimes I miss a lot during the actual trial. I think it's kind of neat. To go through a little bit, maybe what I'll try to do is take some points that I think that were really good, and we can kind of discuss like certain things that a witness talked about, because I have all that info and I can read it practically word for word. So I think being able to go back and see what they said, we can discuss it that way. But whiskey and coffee. I'm trying to keep my whiskey consumption to once a week. Fun Fridays. It did leak into a little bit of fun on Saturday, but not much. I started out. I said to my son, I said, "Well, today's Thursday. I'll have my pale ale." Last Thursday, and he says, "Well, so what would we call that?" I said, "Well, we start off. We have Wine Wednesday." So I don't have anything fancy to say for Beer Thursday, but Fun Friday is whiskey night. I sound like I drink a lot. I don't. Just one night a week. Let's see here. Andy Clements says, "I will be watching at midnight Brisbane, Australia time. I've got some time off work. This has got me hooked. I can't wait for Nelson to cross-examine the MMA guy." Yes, that somebody said in the chat, I don't know if anybody heard this part or saw this part in chat, that somebody tried to say that this guy was that one guy on that Fox whatever station video who threw a brick through a car. I went and looked at that, and I can't look at that and say that was him or say it wasn't. You can't, as far as I can see, I can't tell if it was him or not. But the other guy says it was. I mean, the person that brought that in says it was. So I don't know. If you Fox, I think it was Fox 9 had a video on a car that was smashed. The back window was smashed with a brick. So I don't know if it's that guy or not. But if it was him, I'm sure it will come out by defense. Oh, Thirsty Thursday. There you go. I'm sure. I didn't even think about that. I have heard that one before. By Thursday, sometimes I'm really worn out from the week. Today I'm feeling it and it's only Monday. This is going to be a long trial. Andy, you're a trooper for staying up so late. Yes, thank you for being here. So, okay, folks, we're going on an hour, and I've horribly yacked your ears off enough. So, I will say goodnight to everyone, and thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for putting up with my brain that does not stay focused enough to do a chat very well. Now you know why I'm not, like I said yesterday, now you know why I'm not a professional. So, anywho, love yous. Have a great night, and see you at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, and wherever that is, anywhere else in the world. In Australia, I have no idea. Take care. Lovies. Hugs and kisses. And see you tomorrow. Bye.